Well, I can say firsthand that nothing can lift your looks or your spirits like a new hairdo, or at least feeling really good about your hair color and just your appearance in general. And one of my favorite people, Babb of Mark Pardo Salons, is here to tell us what we need to know about getting our best tressed look. You like that? Best tressed?
I love it. I love it. And you're beautifully tressed today.
Oh, gee, thanks. Now, Chris, we want to talk a little bit about the trends of hair color, especially as the seasons change. A lot of people like to go for a change. I'm a little bit of a creature of habit.
Sure.
But there are a lot of people that are looking for something different. So first, tell me a little bit about the general trends of hair changing, you know, as far as color goes.
You know, it's always the same in terms of seasons. Here, spring, summer on the approach, actually first day yesterday.
Right.
Lightening the hair is a big trend in the warmer months. So getting some highlights in there, whether it be anything from really soft, natural pieces to maybe more bold chunks throughout the hair. So, and anything in between, of course. But something we focus largely on at Mark Pardo's as colorists is giving you a look that's going to best complement you.
Right,
whether it be your features and just as importantly your lifestyle, things that you're going to be able to maintain easily and commit to.
Right, because I mean the thing is, and I think everybody can agree, when you go to a stylist, you walk out of there, you always feel good about yourself.
Sure.
But then when you have to achieve things on your own, you sometimes are left with, what do I do now? So, and that's one of the things that you do, because I mean Mark Pardo stylists really, I mean you are trained every year, and you actually do special training, specialized trainings that help with the following these changing trends and keeping people on target about, as a whole, how they should look, you know, in association with the color of their hair. Talk a little bit about the new class that's taking hair color to new levels.
Sure, a class that we were just exposed to is called Red Chocolate. It's a company called Red Chocolate, and they're offering a class that essentially merges the art of color with the business of color. And ensuring that we are giving our guests the best options for their hair, and more importantly, letting them know that there are options. How often our guests think that single process color, just one color and highlights are the only option. There's so many options out there.
Right, and when you say the business of color, what does that mean? The business of color.
Well, from a colorist standpoint, again, ensuring that we are giving our guests the best options. A statistic that we were just introduced to that I found very profound was that most people will leave their stylist because they are not offered change.
Really?
And that is the #1 reason a guest will choose to maybe go see somebody else.
How interesting.
Yeah, and by not being offered change, I mean, and that was, I think, eye-opening for all of us.
It is, because a lot of us do get very comfortable, but just sometimes just having somebody in your position who's already an expert say, you know what, maybe you should try this. It makes you think differently, and I love that. I really do. And I actually want to show some video because we want to talk a little bit about the colorizing process and some of the things that people do.
It's a hair color education company, and our goal is really to connect the art and business of color. And I think for every hairdresser that works behind the chair, the education has always really been focused on...
What are we watching here? This is your most recent class, right?
Sure, this was actually just Monday, and David Adams, the founder of Red Chocolate and co-president, wonderful man, has a long history with Aveda, essentially going through with us some color theory and just ensuring that our foundation is really strong, so that when we come back into the salon, we're able to really relay these trends to our guests.
And he's kind of like the Aveda color guru, isn't he?
Rock star, there from the beginning, and has again merged his love for color into growing future stylists and colorists. So.
And one of the things I think is so interesting is that there were 10 salons out of 60,000.
Right.
Really 60,000 in the country that were offered this training?
Correct.
And you guys were selected. I mean, that's amazing to me.
We're extremely honored and privileged, and it was just wonderful being in his presence. We have 4 more classes over the next 2 months that will be in with him, so just like a sponge, taking it all in.
Absolutely, and Red Chocolate sounds very appetizing.
It's awesome. He described it as, he's often asked where the name Red Chocolate came from. Right. And he said, well, red's our favorite color and chocolate's our favorite food, so it only made sense. And
it does.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would think, you know, it's something, and I think we'll touch on it more as the weeks go on as well, is I think, especially for people who do have shades of red in their hair, there are so many different options with color there. And I think, especially in that color zone, you probably need a lot of guidance.
Oh, definitely. I mean, do you want to look like Rihanna or Nicole Kidman?
Exactly. It's totally different.
And everything in between, exactly. And maintenance for reds is very important too. So
definitely.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Do you find that, especially with the sun as strong as it is, that, you know, let's say I decide I want to do chestnut highlights, after a couple days outside, is that going to change? I mean, do you want to make your determination of your color based on the fact that you'll also be outside in sun?
Sure, you can really have any color you want, but ensuring that you're using the correct products to also prevent UVA, UVB breakdown is my job. If I'm not, communicating that to you, I've done you a disservice. So yeah, you can have any color you want.
It's so true, though. I mean, and every time I go into any of the salons, whether it's you or Danielle or anybody that I go see, I mean, there is always that offer of the right product.
Sure.
And what I really like about that, and I want our viewers to really recognize, is that it's not for the purpose of a sale. It's not like you're going in there and you're trying to sell us stuff, because nobody likes that.
Right.
It's more about, I want you to walk away from this experience, taking it with you and feeling like you're not going to have to wait till the next time you see me to enjoy it again.
And you're my living art. You're out there in the world. I don't need you telling people you did my hair if it doesn't look great. It's got to be good.
We represent your work.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I need you to look great.
So have you found that there's one trend more than another as far as colors go this time of year? Are you finding that more people are doing lowlights, highlights? What are you seeing the most?
A lot of highlights, brightening it up, and push maybe more towards the natural, like these really beautiful little sun-kissed veils over the top of the head, rather than these really intentional pieces.
Streaky.
Just something really soft, like we've been hanging out on the beach all day.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Like just a sun glow in your hair rather than a streak.
Exactly.
Good to know. Well, I want to let everybody know how they can find you.
Sure.
And everybody else, all of the Mark Pardo salons. Of course, Mark Pardo Hair, Skin, Body can be found everywhere from Wantabo down to Coors Bypass.
That's it.
And you definitely want to call for an appointment. They do get very busy, especially people like Chris, who's at the Nob Hill location. And you'll want to make sure that you definitely call ahead, because he gets booked.
Yeah.
I hear about you, boy.
Yeah. Thank you.
And of course, you can always go to the website for more information. Thanks, Chris.
Anytime.
And we'll see you next week.
Done.
We go on the streets to talk about what the people want to know. We love that. Now, this little guy needs a home, as do hundreds of other pets. We'll tell you all about Animal Humane New Mexico's Adopt-a-thon coming up next on New Mexico Style.